Recently, the Hank Strange Situation visited with leather craftsman Sam Andrews of andrewsleather.com. Sam is renowned for making exotic holsters, belts, and amongst other things, recently started producing some really cool hats. So please kick back and enjoy. People ask you this all the time. How did you get into making leather holsters?
It was a complete accident.
Okay.
But I was 15, I was planning a law enforcement career, I was in the Police Explorers, and I got a new revolver with Christmas money. So I took some leather my brother had. He'd had a craft class in school.
Okay.
And I copied one of the old department holsters that they'd thrown out because it was trashed. I was able to cut out the stitches and lay it flat to trace it. And I made a copy for my pistol. It was crude, but I was horribly proud of it, showed it off to anybody who would stand still for 10 seconds. Then I made one for a friend, and then a friend of a friend.
So you got an order?
Well, a friend of a friend paid me $20 to make one, and
Okay.
I went, there's money in this.
Yeah.
So in the 6 years I spent in police work, I was always doing things on the side, and practicing and testing, experimenting. Then by the time I'd had it to here with bureaucracy, it gave me something else to go into.
Right.
And it's been a lot more fun.
That's amazing. So you didn't even have the shop class, your brother had the shop class.
Exactly. I came into it totally secondhand.
Yeah, that's by osmosis or something like that. That's really cool. I'm glad that you came to it. You know, I think you made probably a really good police officer, but I'm really happy that you're making the holsters.
Well, it had its fun parts, but I enjoy making the holsters a lot more.
What is this?
This is an elephant's ear.
Oh, wow.
Okay. It's part of it. The ear's actually big.
Oh, so this is just the...
This is the edge of the ear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And like anything from an elephant, you can't scratch it because it's just bulletproof tough.
Wow.
And of course the edges of the ears are always torn up because they go into those acanthus thorn trees and that get snagged.
Right. So this is just one ear?
Well, it's part of an ear. It was probably twice that large before it got cut. I've got ears you could make belts out of.
Really? I didn't realize the ears were that big.
And then the body has the diamond pattern on it, whereas the ear has fine wrinkles.
Oh.
And then the trunk has deep furrows and ridges and a more pebbly green surface. And again, none of them can you scratch. They're just absolutely tough. The shark is the same way.
Okay, what is it about their particular hide that makes it so tough?
Evolution.
Okay.
when you're that big and live in a world where everything has thorns or teeth, I imagine the ones who bred had the really hard skins.
Right, okay.
And then there's some odd skins.
What is this?
Very tough. Very thin.
It's light.
You've probably had it for dinner.
Okay. Not chicken.
No. Although I do have a turkey hide here.
Not gator.
Turkey.
That's turkey.
This is turkey?
Turkey gobble.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
I can see it now that you say it.
Yeah.
What is this one? I can't.
Salmon.
Salmon.
It's a salmon
Oh, that's
skin.
what's for dinner tonight.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and these got sent to me as samples. I don't get a ton of demand for fish holsters, but I made one just for giggles.
Yeah, well, I mean, they have a different look, you know, so.
Again, one of the fellows I buy hides from, he's forever sticking little extra things in there, sometimes just as a joke, and he sent me this turkey skin, which made me laugh quite a lot.
Did you know what it was immediately?
Not until I turned it over and saw the sign, turkey leather.
Oh, okay. Like, what is this?
Exactly. Poke around here, you never know what you'll find in the corners.
Okay.
For instance,
Is this something you made here?
no,
or
this is an old shotgun case a friend of mine brought me to try and save. The stitching is breaking out of it.
Oh, okay.
And the leather is all dried. So I told him I'd try and patch it back together.
Oh, okay. I mean, I was going to ask you if you do make cases.
Not
I mean,
like that, really.
Oh,
This,
okay.
this was sentimental. It was his grandfather's or something.
Right.
So we're
Oh,
trying to
okay.
save this. These are some of
bucket
the
of-
popular lizards. This is the ringed lizard for obvious reasons. It's the savanna monitor from Africa.
Oh, okay.
And this is the tegu lizard from South America. It's in the monitor family, but it has an almost digital camouflage pattern
Yeah,
to it.
that is really nice. I like that.
The locals, it's mostly in Argentina, the locals call it the chicken wolf.
Chicken wolf.
Pollo. Because they're great diggers. They have big claws. They get under the fence and into the hen house, but unlike a weasel, they kill everything. It's like a little buzzsaw on speed.
Wow.
And they
Okay.
get up to 4.5, 5 feet long. The farmers hate them like poison. If you hunt around on these, very often you can find the .22 caliber hole.
Oh, really?
Oh yes, they shoot them on sight.
It's a great pattern. I like
They're
that.
strong. It is
Yeah.
very hard to scratch, very durable.
Yeah, I like that digital camo, and you're right. This is really close to that.
And they make just amazing things, very
Yeah.
visual.
Yeah.
That's the lizards.
Okay, so this is your lizard
is
container
my
in
lizard
here.
box.
Oh, okay. Got some nice.
And then, this ever popular, the stingrays.
Oh, yeah.
This is the spinal stingray,
Yeah.
also known as a banjo ray. The discs were actually spikes. They were needle-sharp spines that ran down the back. So after they've dyed the skin, they grind off the spines to expose the true bone color of the base skin, which makes a neat feature down the face of a holster or around a belt.
Right.
And this is all bone. It's
Yeah,
all,
this is-
all
this-
knobs of calcium.
Oh, so that's bone in there. That's why you get
I
that.
have to cut this out using sheet metal tools. I have to do the edges with a grinder and a belt sander. It's like working steel, but
Wow.
it's flexible.
Right.
It's just so hard.
Yeah. But it's a nice pattern to run your hands
Absolutely.
over it, you know.
Very, very visual.
Yeah, you get a very, I don't know if you could see it.
The giant ray has what's called the diamond in the middle.
Oh, okay.
And so there's
Oh,
two-
wow, that feels like a shield.
This was kind of a fin, and they ground it off. These are the two rays that I work with. There's others, but they don't really lend themselves to this work. A lot of people like the diamond right in the middle of their holster, and then the rest of it makes good belts, pouches, accessories. And being wider,
Yeah, I like that feel
you can
on
get a
that.
larger holster out of this. Than the banjo rays tend to be narrower because they're a longer
Okay.
creature.
Wow. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. It's a beast to work with. It took me a lot of time and tears to.
Yeah.
to
This
get
seems
to it.
tougher than this one, right?
The knobs are larger on this one. It's
Yeah.
just bigger. So it's a little thicker, a little heavier.
Yeah.
These are the ostrich legs. The ostrich has a shield running down the front of the shin, overlapping bony plates. And so that makes a neat feature in the middle of a holster or around a belt. And it's very, very tough because it evolved to run through African thorns, of which there are plenty, and not get torn up.
Oh, I see. This is almost, yeah, it's like an armor plating.
People who see the finished goods are always asking me, what kind of snake is that? Because it looks like belly plates.
Yeah, you wouldn't. So this is the front of their leg, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Then these are the frogs.
Oh yeah.
They're a very large bullfrog from Indonesia, and I do not know the scientific name. They're just bloody big. And what is shocking is they're armored. All the knobs there are horn. It's truly difficult to cut. I never knew we had armored frogs.
Is this the same exact kind of frog?
Yes.
Okay,
They
just
just
dyed.
get dyed different
Yeah.
colors. For instance, here's one I'm finishing in the gray.
Okay.
The gray is a popular frog color.
Now, what is this the holster for?
M&P 40.
M&P 40.
And then this little Glock holster, fellow wanted done in gold and gray.
Wow, that's a nice combo. So this is outside the waistband or in?
Both of these are outside the waistband.
Outside. Oh, okay.
Oh, this is the giant monitor lizard. This is
Oh, yeah, this thing.
the first cousin of the Komodo dragon. The dragons are protected. This guy is fair game. In fact, in Indonesia, they're a pest. They take small animals, children. It's like a land-going crocodile. They get up 7, 8, 9 feet long,
Wow.
and they're fast.
Okay.
And
And
again,
that's the
it's
monitor lizard you
the
said,
giant
right?
monitor.
The giant.
very, very tough armor-like
Yeah.
skin. And on the tail, the monitors have a ridge. I've often done holsters where I'll stand the ridge up right down the middle of the holster, and people keep asking me if that's a seam I've sewn on there.
Yeah, this
But
is
it's quite natural.
this is natural.
Right down
Okay.
the top of the tail.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's what I was thinking myself that you did it, but yeah, I see what you're
I
saying.
mean, it
There's
looks
no-
like a pinched up seam, but
Yeah.
actually it's natural to the creature.
Wow. Okay. You know, one of the things I was going to ask you, Sam, how does a person figure out when, let's say someone like me that's never ordered one of your belts, holsters, etc., and I go to your site and I see all these options, how do I figure it out? What advice would you give me?
Well, the first time you go there, it's like being the kid in the candy store.
Yeah.
You just tend to spin in place, holding your single quarter, going, which one?
Yeah, exactly.
So people narrow it down eventually by the looks, the pattern, I like this one better, colors, etc. Many people ask me about how tough they wear, because they want something that'll be very durable.
Right.
Which they usually go toward the shark, the elephant, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Although most of these, even the ostrich, are far tougher than cowhide.
Oh, okay.
Cowhide is actually kind of delicate. You can score it with your fingernail.
Okay, right. Okay, so all these exotic leathers are a lot tougher than that.
The only one that isn't is the snake, the python, because the scales can get worn off. The
Okay.
snake is pretty delicate.
Okay. So with regular use, how long should someone expect it to last?
Oh, lifetime.
Lifetime.
Unless they hit it with something sharp or tear it up or
Right.
take a
Shoot
spill
it.
on their motorcycle.
Now, what is this one?
Ostrich.
This is
the
ostrich.
quilled ostrich.
Oh, right. Okay.
Think of all the cowboy boots you've seen.
Right. Yes. This is what that's made of.
Right.
And it's very soft.
It is soft,
Yeah,
but
that's
it's very tough against abrasion,
Yeah.
which I
okay.
didn't expect. But a bird skin. Who thought?
So that's why people make a lot of cowboy boots out of them.
Exactly. And there's a great deal of wastage on ostrich skins. As you see, a great deal of the skin has no quill marks.
Okay.
These were only where the feathers attached.
Right.
So
And this is the look that everyone wants.
exactly.
Okay.
So you tend to use about half the hide.
Oh.
So there's a good deal of extra expense in a lot of these hides for the bits that you can't use, but
Yeah.
you're paying for every square inch.
Right. So imagine when someone makes like seats out of this stuff, they really have a lot of waste there.
Well, they'd need to get some really some real turkey
Yeah.
ostrich.
Oh, okay. This is also ostrich?
Yes, just in that's a black cherry finish.
So now the basic options that someone has when they're having a holster, because is it unlimited kinds of hides, or can they make
largely-
requests of hides of you?
They can call for whatever material they like, different
Okay.
colors,
Okay.
or even special cuts out of the material, such as when I showed you on the gator the greatest horns in the back of the
Right.
neck. That's the prime cut if you want something really pronounced and
Okay.
standing up.
So as long as it's legal to have, then you can get
Oh,
hold
absolutely.
of that. Okay, cool.
Now
Wow.
these hides are Cape Buffalo.
Oh, this buffalo.
Cape Buffalo is very popular because it's tough. It's
yeah.
fairly inexpensive as far as an exotic goes. It's got a really neat pattern. And everybody knows the Cape, big, nasty, tough, macho beast. So it's got a good cachet to it.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that is tough. You could tell.
Oh, yes. And of course, the different colors, sandy tan, they call that one ebony, you got all kinds. But underneath the buffalo, I don't have a lot of the gray left. This is one of my personal favorites, hippopotamus.
Yeah, this looks like velour. And
It feels like velvet.
Yeah.
Because the animal lives in the water all its life, so it keeps that soft hand, but it's enormously tough. You can't scratch it. But it's got these huge scars all over it because they fight with those great big tusks of theirs. They're nasty, territorial, evil creatures.
So those are battle scars.
Exactly. Some of these hides I get look like you attacked them with a garden rake.
But that's good. I mean, I like that kind of stuff.
Well, on most leathers, I'm looking for the prime, the flawless piece to put on a holster face or something. On the hippopotamus, people want the scars.
Yeah.
They want the marks. They want to show it's the real
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a reverse from the normal.
Yeah.
And they scare me a lot. I don't want to meet any hippopotamus in their natural habitat.
Yeah, I think those are one of the most deadly creatures we've got, right?
Kill more people than the crocs and the cats and everything else
Yeah.
every year. And they're not even carnivores.
Yeah.
They're just
Just
territorial,
for the fun of it.
bad attitudes.
Yeah, don't cross a hippo.
They can also outrun us, which they don't look like they should be able
No.
to do, but they can move.
Oh, okay.
6,000 pounds going like hell.
Coming at you. So stay far away from them because you probably won't get scars that look like this.
My customers who hunt in Africa tell me if you're near water, pond, river, anything, be really careful because if they've gone off into the brush to eat and you get between them and the water, they panic and they will run you right down.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah, you don't want that.
No.
That's gonna hurt.
It'll leave a mark. And then this whole bottom case here is elephants of various. This is my favorite elephant hide. This is the trunk.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
The trunk has these deep furrows and ridges from being twisted and bent all its life. Very pebbly surface,
Horizontal.
just as scratch-proof as anything off an elephant. It's more liable to have holes and nicks because it's the front part. They're pushing trees down with it and
Oh, okay.
getting into the thorns, but I cut around those.
Yeah. What is the most popular hide that people order from you? Do you
Well,
track
there's
that?
a great deal of gator,
Gator.
because it's so recognizable, everybody knows immediately
Right.
what it is. A lot of shark, because shark, like I said, like elephants, extraordinarily tough.
Right, okay. Did you show me the shark hides?
No, not yet.
yet.
They're over there.
Right, okay.
Yes, this is a complete ear.
Oh, wow. Okay, I thought I had big ears. Elephants have really.
Exactly.
Do they hair really good?
I think so.
Well, this is just a flap, right?
Their
This is nothing to
eyesight,
do-
yeah, their eyesight isn't that great, but from what I understand, their hearing and their smell are very
It's really good, okay. And I think they use these things to like flots wise or something
Right,
like
exactly.
that.
See them, or it's a threat thing. They raise their ears when they're doing the aggressive stance.
Oh, okay, makes them look bigger. Yeah.
You see it on the old nature shows where
Mm-hmm.
people come up and they raise the trunk and they flap the ears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is cool.
One of my customers got his elephant hide after hunting in South Africa, and he had an entire couch upholstered with it,
Oh, okay.
including the throw pillows, and still had enough left to make holsters and cases and belts and
Oh,
so
okay.
forth.
So you have customers that they go hunting, they bring back a hide, and have you make stuff with them.
Yes, a lot of
That's
my
cool.
customers have me make things from their hides because it's the bragging rights. They get to wear their trophy. And somewhere in here I have a picture.
And it's also a great thing because after hunting, you've actually now used what came out of that.
Not wasting it.
Yeah, it's purposeful.
This fellow sent me his zebra skin to make him a
that's cool.
cartridge belt. And that is the first hair-on skin that I'd worked in decades. I was cleaning hair out of my sewing machine for months afterwards. It turned into one of those nightmare projects. It was beautiful when it was
Yeah, it's
done,
worth it. It looks great 'cause you can see
I
it.
was almost in tears at points in making the bloody thing. And
Now,
there-
what cartridges are these?
I think he had. It was a 300 Magnum Wildcat. It was an unusual.
Okay, this is what he actually goes hunting
Right, he
with.
sent me the cartridges so I could size the loops because they weren't normal commercial cartridges.
Yeah, that's
Just
cool.
looking for- I had enough zebra skin left. I made my then 7-year-old son a little belt,
Ah,
and he wore it till he wore most of the hair off.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's too big for it.
That's exactly what I was going to ask. How do you keep the hair on?
A hair-on hide doesn't stand up well to abrasion. I mean, hair
Yeah.
gets worn. So, if you're using it, as a hat band, okay, fine, it'll last
Longer.
because, you're not rubbing it up.
yeah, there's not so much activity going on.
A belt on the 7-year-old,
No, not a 7-year. I don't
Is it
know
one
what
last?
lasts on a 7-year-old because
not very
only
much.
them. Yeah.
I run out of room over there for the sharks, so I put my bags of shark over here. The shark is a strange hide. It comes in an H shape because in the middle they're taking the big fin off.
Oh, okay.
And I use the tiger sharks because they are bigger, so it's thicker, heavier, stronger hide, and it's got much more of a rippled and patterned surface. On the little sharks you can buy, little nurse lemon sharks, little tiny hides, they're still tough, but they're just a pebble pattern. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
as interesting.
Right.
I like the visual of
not as
big
textured,
ridges
yeah.
and ripples and so forth. And like with any wild critter, there's scars and holes and things you have to work around because they live a rough life.
So now, I think you were telling me this before off camera. It's very interesting. We should probably cover it again. The hides don't come colored like this, right?
Well,
or do they?
Mostly they come already colored.
They do. Okay.
I can get them uncolored if there's a particular
Color
coloration
that
I'm trying to achieve.
Okay.
Mostly they're pre-colored, which just saves steps.
Okay. So if a customer wanted a specific color, you can get it uncolored, and then you do the color work.
Right.
Okay.
With lots of trial and error to get it right.
Experimentation.
One of the worst was my dealer down in Pompano Beach, Vito, who has only the best firearms. Last Christmas he got a couple of Nighthawk Customs for his daughters in a purple enamel finish, so I had to make purple stingray holsters and mag pouches to go with them. It took me half a day and 3 different colors mixed to match the
To
purple.
do purple.
I was about ready to go choose something.
I'm sure they appreciated all
They
the work
loved
when
it,
they
but
finally got it.
it was one of the more challenging.
Right,
types of
I can
color.
imagine. Okay. So you don't always do the color things, but you can.
Sure.
Okay.
Purple just doesn't come up a lot in holsters.
Yeah.
Kind of like hot pink.
Yeah, you never know now.
Yeah, outside of Key West, it's not
Yeah.
that common.
Now, you know what? I noticed you've got some hats here. So I don't know if you want to go into that because this is really cool. This is something I really like.
This has been a natural outgrowth of the exotic work because we're all wearing hats on the range when we're shooting. And so I started making range hats so a person could show off the gear that way. Also, people complain a great deal about getting a fancy exotic skin rig if they have to conceal it.
Right. No one gets to see
You know,
the
aside from a
beauty.
few friends or people at the range, it just doesn't show.
Right.
And you get arrested if you go around the streets flaunting them. So this gives people a way to show off the stuff that they could wear anywhere.
Right.
And other people, such as golfers, are getting into it. They really
I mean,
enjoy
so
the
you've
show
got these are
factor.
baseball caps. I see you have here, right? And then
Right.
this is a
And for cowboy hats, this is in the Australian saltwater crocodile from the backstrap. And these I did with a Velcro closure and a sliding keeper to keep it in place.
Oh,
so
okay.
a person can adjust it to different hat sizes.
okay. So you could just take it off and put it
We
on.
can also do them with alligator teeth, you know, mounted around it, you know, a la Dundee style.
Right.
So it's just up to the customer how they want to show off.
Right. This is a great idea. I really like this. I'm gonna have to get myself one of these.
They're a lot of fun.
You know.
And people, when I wear them, they're forever stopping me in the street with this incredulous looks. What's that?
Yeah. Where'd you get that from?
Exactly.
That's why I want one.
And some of them we do, well, I have some I'm building here.
Oh, let's see.
Some of them we do, say, with alligator teeth
Oh.
as an accent, rather than just the bare gator.
Just the plain. Okay.
We do shark's teeth and other bits.
So just like all your other stuff, the customer can get this customized to their
Exactly.
needs. Okay. I will be getting a custom Hank Strange hat coming soon, and when you see me wearing it, came from Sam Andrews. Okay.
So, you know, strange is what I specialize
Right,
in.
one of a kind. Yes. Strange is what I specialize in that too. So it's a good fit. Okay. And then I see what you've got a bunch of
These are, most of my work is still in regular cowhide, just because of the price point. Most people aren't
Okay.
going to pony up for exotic stuff.
right. Okay.
This is a bunch of pancake holsters I'm getting ready to do the final stitching on. I've sanded the edges. I'm about to put the groove in there. It just follows the edge, and it helps the stitching sink down so it's not worn off by
Oh, I see.
belt rubbing.
Okay, so these are all getting ready for that.
Right, in fact,
So, you know, if someone's never bought your stuff, they can just get into the quality leather
Exactly.
without getting exotic. Okay, that's cool.
this nice little tool has a hole in the end, it's very sharp, and it cuts the groove when you follow the edge. So it acts as a guide for the stitching, and also it lets the stitches sit in below flush so they're not where the belt would rub on them and wear them off. Makes life a lot easier.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I'm sure you've got a lot of cool tools like that around here.
Well, it's interesting that a lot of the tools that you end up using are not exactly leather tools, just things you find that work. For instance, when we're slicking, you wet an edge, and then you rub it down to give it the nice smooth edge. An old ballpoint pen casing makes just an absolutely wonderful slicking tool.
Yeah.
I mean, they make specialized tools like these wheels to go around with,
To do
but
it.
you can't get into the corners with
Right,
those.
okay.
So you find things that work, and this lovely smooth plastic just.
Yeah. Well, like any craftsman, you've got to, you know, you just take whatever works out of the environment and do
Exactly.
it. Yeah, that's, you know, that's the cool thing about you. And then I noticed you have these really cool machines over here. These are your sewing machines, right?
Right. There's no modern machines that can do the work as well. This one was made in 1922, that one in 1917.
Wow.
I've been stitching with this one since 1980. And
Wow.
it's all grimy and oily because in those days they didn't have a lot of sealed bearings. You've got lots of oil ports where you open them up and just literally pour oil in that flows down through the mechanism. So I clean up around it a lot.
Right.
But With this monster, you can sew anything from light wallet stuff to heavy holsters and saddles. They are so versatile.
Yeah,
and they run slowly, so you can do tight, intricate work.
Yeah, they literally don't make them like this anymore.
Not since before the Depression, no.
Yeah. Now, how does this work? I know this is not like a traditional sewing machine, right? You probably need to get in.
Everybody's seen, mom's or grandmother's sewing machine, which has a needle on the top. These have an awl. It's a chisel-pointed awl that breaks through the leather, makes a hole, then the needle comes following up through the pre-made hole and has a hook in the end which catches the thread and then takes it down for the shuttle to lock the stitch. So it is a lock stitch. It's a top and bottom thread locked together inside. But it's just doing it the reverse of most machinery that you've seen.
Wow. So now, are these exactly the same kind of machine?
They are the same. This one's still sitting on the shipping pallet. It came on. It's my backup machine.
Oh, okay, this is the backup.
Right. Because if the sewing machines go down in here, not much gets done.
Right, I know.
And
there's no way you're going to do that by hand.
No. And the Land of 16s aren't easy to come by and they're not inexpensive. So when this came up, there was a company called Tech Shoemaker, a police equipment company, went out of business. And I know the fellow who was parting out the machinery.
Right.
So he offered this one to me at a real deal. I couldn't say
You absolutely had to do it. I mean,
And so if I need to, I can just move over here, this
Go with
one
this
up,
one.
and carry on with a machine that I'm already used to. I don't have to relearn.
Yeah, that's amazing. You know, it's amazing to me to think, someone looks at your final product. I'm sure they appreciate it for what it is, but there's no way of realizing what it takes to actually make this handcrafted product.
There's a lot of processes that go into it. Oh, yes.
Let's talk about the process of getting your holster. So you go online and you figure out everything that you want, and you order it, and what happens?
Well, when people make an order, this is what their holster looks like.
Oh, okay.
It's all raw materials. And after they tell me what to build for them, take the pattern, and sometimes I have to make a new pattern for them, depending on what weapon, what modifications, etc. And trace the pattern out on the leather to cut, or if it's something that I've made a great many of that's a regular model, I'll have clicker dies made. It's like a big cookie cutter.
So that's what these are?
Yeah, mine, the one edge is pretty sharp.
Okay.
And this clicker press, it's a hydraulic press, just like a big cookie cutter will knock out the shapes.
Right.
But since these are very expensive to have made, I only do them for things I'm making a whole lot of the same things.
Okay. And you seem to have a lot of them, it looks like.
I've been gathering them for many, many years.
Yeah, how long have you been doing this? 30-something years?
38 years and counting, but I wasn't using this kind of equipment from the beginning.
Right.
In the beginning, I was sitting in a patrol car on midnight sewing things by hand. So
Oh, okay. I think you went into the right business.
it's much more satisfying.
Yeah.
And I haven't been shot at in a long time.
Oh, that's good. Where did this go?
Right there.
Right
on
there.
top of those.
Wow, it's amazing how many of
There's
these
gotta
you
be
have.
40 grand
Yeah,
in
you've
dyes
got
there, because they all have to be custom made to my patterns. I use Swanson dye up in New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
Exquisite work.
And I'm sure, you know what people don't realize when they order stuff like this? There's a cost to it over if you got yourself a Kydex holster, which is cheap and really easy to stamp out. But the cost is nothing compared to what it takes for someone like you to come up with all this stuff, right?
It's the time and the practice and the many, many patterns I've thrown away and started over. And a lot of these designs have evolved through 3 and 4 or more generations over the years.
Yeah, that's what I want to highlight to people, that when you get something like this, you are really getting your money's worth. Because if you had to make one of these holsters yourself, you're looking at thousands of dollars, a long time training, learning.
A lot of frustration.
Yeah, just get a craftsman like Sam Andrews to make it for you. That's the cheapest way.
On the occasions that anybody says, oh, it's too costly, I invite them to make their own. They don't have to deal with me.
Yeah.
With me, they're paying for the 38 years of practice,
Absolutely.
not just the material.
And getting a bargain. Okay, so now you've got these patterns. So
after we've cut out the leather, either by hand or with the clicker, then it gets lined. In this case, this one was lined with suede. I'll do suede or smooth leather. It just depends on what the customer wants.
Okay, so this is what's going up against the skin.
It gets glued on with a super strong cement. This is the stuff they use in the shoe industry. It's called barge cement. This is what holds the soles on your sneakers. Because sneakers are not sewn, they're just glued.
Right.
So
Yes.
the joint is much stronger than.
And that's the good stuff, because I know I've seen a lot of sneakers that don't really hold it together. That's the good stuff, right,
That
barge
is very
cement?
good stuff. But
Okay.
the reason I don't air condition is it's full of such evil chemicals. You have to have all the doors and windows open and lots of fans blowing,
Oh.
because it is nasty.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay, so from here,
We trim off the excess,
okay.
sew the edge, and then it gets beveled, which one of the things I take the most time and trouble about is the edges.
Okay, this is what you were showing me a little bit.
After it's been sanded down, and we use a belt sander just to true up the edges, and these haven't been final sanded yet, you'd use a beveler to take off the square edge and round it.
Oh, okay.
And then I slick it both on a machine. You see that green grinder motor there has an
Right.
aluminum arbor with various grooves in it. You wet the edge and you machine slick it, and then you come back and you hand slick it. Use a wooden tool or the plastic rod to rub it down and get that really glassy smooth edge.
Okay.
I spend more time on the edges than any other process.
Right.
And it's been interesting in the years when I was doing gun shows. People who knew nothing at all about leather would come and they'd pick up something and you'd see their fingers just start to stroke the
Yeah, that's where,
edges.
yeah.
It's very tactile.
Yeah.
But that's one of the differences between really good work and kind of so-so work is the time you take in finishing
To get those edges right. Okay.
If you pick up one of those Mexican cowboy rigs in the roadside souvenir stand, they're like sandpaper.
Yeah.
Because they were slapped together.
Right. Okay. Do you have one of those around here? Do you have something that's?
No, I don't really have any of the competitors.
Well, no. I mean, of your finished. I'm sure you've got.
Surely.
Yeah. I'd love to see what you're talking about there to get the visual.
Well, now this one, which I'm just molding, the
Okay.
edge hasn't been sealed yet, but
Right.
those edges
But that's.
have all
Oh
been
yeah,
sealed
I see what
down.
you're. Yeah.
So what I'm looking for is a really rolled, glassy, hard, smooth
Right.
edge.
Yeah.
And then in the color finishing, we put an edge coat on it, which is a flexible enamel to really seal it down.
Oh.
Because with use, if something rubs on the leather, it can bring the fibers up again.
Oh, okay.
So
Now,
you want-
is that? Well, I'm sure it's not where it gets the most, but it probably gets a lot of action going on around the edges, right?
Oh,
That's
yes,
why you're
the
going
edges are
through all
what are
that.
going to rub on things. So.
Right. Okay, that's cool. I see exactly what you. Now I'll be an expert the next time I see that, and I'm gonna just pretend like some years and years. I'm a connoisseur of the edges. That's really cool.
But it's one of the make or break things of doing good work.
So from that process,
The final step
Okay.
is in this very messy corner, where we do the coloring, edge coating, many dyes and oils and.
oh, you know what? I've
various
never actually come into this corner.
things. Well, it's a cramped little dirty corner, but this is the messiest part of the whole operation. See, this has the edge coat applied, which is a darker brown than
Right.
the rest of it.
Okay, so that really makes it pop out to you. Yeah.
And then we're going to color it either with the neatsfoot oil or dye, depending on what finished color we're going for. After it's dried into its color, then I take my airbrush and spray it with the acrylic Resolene as a final sealer. It's
Okay.
a marvelous finish because it goes right into the pores and bonds into the leather. It's not like a lacquer that sits on the top and can peel off.
Right. Okay.
It gives it a soft
So that's
shine.
almost like a clear coat. Thanks.
Yeah, it gives it a soft shine and it waterproofs it, and
Okay.
it's a really good final finish.
Oh, okay. So now that we're talking about the finishes, what does someone do that has a product like this and they want to keep it up? Is there something they need to add?
If it's been Resolened, it really doesn't need anything done to it. No saddle soaps or oils or
Okay.
things. If you got a real deep scratch or a tear in it, if you take just a little neatsfoot oil on your finger and rub it in there, that will fade the color to match more with the rest of
Oh,
the thing,
okay.
so it's not
So this is what
obvious.
you and it's called.
Well, it's
Yeah, come here.
this is used in the saddlery and holster industry.
Okay.
For that kind of color, it's an oil finish.
Neatsfoot oil. Okay.
Right.
So this is something that the regular lay person can get their
You
hands
can
on?
get it at, I bought them at Walmart.
Okay, in little bottles
Yes,
probably.
Shoe
Okay.
stores, Western stores,
Okay. All right. So
neatsfoot oil.
Neatsfoot oil. Okay, that's good to know. So that's basically what you would need if you got any scratches or you want to do any maintenance on your holster, right?
But if you over oil, the leather will turn into a greasy dish rag, go limp, and bleed oil forever. So there is a very real point too far of
Okay.
neatsfoot oil.
Okay.
You know, so that's why sparing is better. You know,
Okay, very little amount.
A couple light coats beats big gobby heavy
Okay.
coats.
Don't go crazy like me and just think that, you know, power, let me just throw more on it. It's not going to do anything for it, right?
Now,
Especially
this-
not after you did all this good work.
Exactly. This notebook holster has been oiled, but I haven't shot the Resolene on it yet,
Oh,
so
wow.
it still has a slightly flatter color to it.
I didn't even know you did things like this, Sam. This a notebook holster?
This is the thing that first put me on the map back in the 1980s. For Handgunner magazine, Jerry Ahern wrote up an article on my stuff, I think it was in '88, and he featured the notebook holster, of which I'd only made 2 at the time. And I immediately got a year backlogged on work.
I want one of these.
When it's
This is
finished,
amazing.
when it's finished, this strap goes on the back, so it goes over my hand. So I have an anchor when I'm trying to rip the gun out.
Oh.
And I can carry it by letting the strap take the weight.
Okay.
And it'll have a 3-ring binder and papers and pockets for things.
This
So
is
it's a
cool. Is
very
this on the
useful-
website?
Oh yes, various
Oh, okay.
sizes. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the holster and magazine insert Velcro in and out so you can change guns.
That is really cool.
This one's set up for Commander in one magazine.
Right. So now, is this something you would have in your bag?
You can
Or
carry it around,
carry it around
anywhere.
just
You
like
can
this.
Carry these around in public and nobody looks twice.
Right. Yeah. Or you can even have this in your house. It would look just like a book. You know, like I'm always looking for something that I could have in the living room.
Up on
And I
a
could-
bookshelf.
Yeah, I could just grab it and I've got a gun hit. This is awesome.
These are very time consuming to make, so I
Okay.
don't build a ton of them.
Yeah, build a lot of them. Okay. Yeah, this is going right on my wish list. Okay. I don't know if you have a wish list on your site, but if you do, I will just be there adding things all the time to the wish
I
list.
might be accused of putting too much temptation into these.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now where were we? We were showing the process.
Finishes. So once something is finished, it's got the Resolene on it, it's dry, then it's just assembled. You know, you attach the shoulder holster to the harness, or maybe set the final snap, and you're ready to go.
Okay. That's really cool. I mean, it's amazing to me. It takes so much for you to get these done, and it looks like you, even when it comes to
They're all dry.
yeah, when it comes to the hats and everything like that, the process that you have to go through, it's really a lot of steps.
There are a lot of steps. The one thing this is very time consuming. Because
Right.
I usually quit work around 11 or midnight most days.
Wow.
I'm a one-man show.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that, and it looks like you have so many projects in various stages of development.
Always. Some things are being cut while other things are being finished, and other
Right.
things are drying. It's.
Yeah. So anyone who's waiting on your stuff, they should know that there's a lot.
I'm not sleeping. No,
yeah,
it's being done.
working all the time.
But I get behind very easily just from
Yeah.
the sheer volume.
Yeah, you look like you do more work than Santa's elves in here, all by yourself. Do you have little, little
I
creatures?
looked at getting some elves, but they've unionized.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't afford their
well,
rates
that's the end
anymore.
of it there.
Oh,
Okay.
here behind you, we didn't get to some of the big gator hides.
Oh, that,
hanging
okay,
up.
yeah. Oh, cool. What are these?
Those
I
are
just saw-
bands for cowboy holsters. On the classic Western holster, there's a band that goes around the middle. Well, that's for the belt. But-
All right, just like the
Oh,
Andrews.
absolutely. Anyway, on
That's the
cowboy-
Andrews Maker's Mark right there, people.
That's the
Are
one.
these on all your products?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Except no substitute.
Yeah, make sure you get that Andrews Maker Mark on there. We've got an elf that wants to, to be on camera.
Now, Ian and
He's
his
so
brother
cute.
Alex both work here in the shop.
Oh,
And
those are the little people.
exactly,
Yeah.
but not too often because school does take the better part of
Yeah.
the day.
And also, here's another example of what I work on.
Oh, you have to get the sword. Look at this sword.
This is Cloudbuster's sword or something?
Buster sword.
Buster sword.
You're ready for some live action role play, I see.
Absolutely.
I'll do a review on this. I do knife reviews as well while I'm getting into
But
knife
this
reviews.
is a huge, bizarre broadsword. It is
Oh,
not
okay.
a knife.
Does it have a sharp edge? Oh yeah, it's kind of sharp. Be careful, don't
If it were,
cut yourself with that thing.
it's not real.
There we
These
go.
are the two basic gator hides or croc hides that we use. What you're holding there is a belly.
This is a belly.
This is a belly. The creature was split open on the back.
Oh,
And what
okay.
I'm holding is a hornback where they split it open on the belly. So depending on what you want to do with it, how they skin it, determines the final shape of the hide.
Oh, okay. So you've got to know what this is going to go into.
This hornback will be used on holster faces, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
For belts and so forth, you want to use the flat tiles. And a lot of people prefer that on the holster as well.
Right.
So there's the two different textures or surface finishes
Wow.
of the gaiters and Crocs. And here again, what
It's
I was
amazing
talking
how
about,
thick this is, and this is just
the great horns are the ones right on the back of the neck. That's the prime cut on the hornback. That's the boldest, biggest horns on
right
the
around,
creature.
yeah, right in this area here,
So
right?
holsters made out of the great horns, they charge a premium over a regular
Oh,
price because
okay.
you only get one of those off a hide,
Right.
and you have to buy an entire new hide to get more.
To get another one. Okay. So if you see someone that has several of these,
They have spent some serious dollars.
yes. Respect it. Okay. That is a serious guy.
Oh, here, I hang it
Oh.
on this through the little plastic.
Do this? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's-
do you want it to go on this one?
This is the CITES tag. This is the, it's legal, it was, all approved
Oh.
by Fish and Game and Customs.
Oh, I
Everybody-
see. Okay, very important.
I have to keep these tags
Yeah.
forever.
Okay.
I've got piles of them.
Okay, just in case you ever get inspected.
Right. Then, we were talking earlier about the big monitor lizards.
Right.
Here's a rig I did for a
Oh.
1911 competition shooter out of.
Look
the
at that.
monitor.
1911, guys. That is really nice. So this is for 2-gun or 3-gun or
It was
something?
actually for the cowboy shooters. They're now doing a match called Wild Bunch where they shoot 1911s.
Oh.
After the classic Ernest Borgnine Wild Bunch. movie.
Wild Bunch, okay.
And so they have one match for 1911s, and a lot of them, being gamers,
Yeah.
want the fastest, slickest rig they can get.
This is for the leg.
That's for the
So this will
leg.
probably, let me
It's all
see,
got a steel shank in the holster to hold it rigidly in
go something
place.
like this.
Mm-hmm.
That is very stylish.
Yes, this calls
Yeah.
for an Arnold voice, I think.
Yes. That is very stylish. I really like this holster. This is a perfect holster for my 1911. No, I'm terrible with the Arnold accent. It's gonna sue me.
I keep hoping PETA will come out and protest me so I can get on television. Imagine
Oh,
I'd be in the background waving a sign with my website on it.
yeah, exactly. You know, I saw a PETA thing. I think it was people eating tasty animals.
That's my
what
favorite.
that's what PETA is. People eating tasty animals. Right here, we're meat eaters,
Make
right?
mine rare, thank you.
Yes.
So amidst
So
all
this is what you were talking about
Right.
just now, right?
This is the hornback crest, the back of the neck, the great horns from a saltwater crocodile, which makes a lovely belt buckle.
That's what this is, a belt buckle. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Don't want to waste any part of it.
Yeah. That's one of the things I like about you. You seem to find a use for as much as you possibly can.
Well, I have a vested interest. I pay so much for the hides.
Yeah.
To lose any hurts me. Like we're
Right.
making these little business card and ID cases
Oh,
out of
this is
things
cool.
that are too small to
Yeah.
build holsters out of. This is something the Tegu lizard.
Yeah. You know what? I've got to upgrade to one of these because my business card thing, that's terrible. Look at that.
Well,
You know, Hank Strange should not be walking around with this kind of business card.
all you need to do is choose your hide.
Okay, we're gonna be here for a long time because I don't know. I want this one, and then I really like. I don't know this. I don't know. I'm gonna have to let Sam figure out which one I want. This looks really cool. What is it? This is the frog. Oh yeah. Maybe I like frogs, so maybe I'll go with that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to upgrade. Before I go to the SHOT Show, it's gonna be embarrassing to pull this out. So anyone who sees me in the SHOT Show, you won't see me with this. I'll have something really nice like this.
Oh, when you go to the SHOT Show, you know Cabot Arms, they make the super high-end 45s? They're selling my holsters to go along with their new two-gun left and right 45s.
Really?
Yeah, if you go to their website, they've got one of my Stingray shoulder rigs there
Oh.
with their black diamond gun.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll in something from that Cabot Arms,
Cabot
right?
Arms, and what made me think of that is I'm setting up a two-gun black shark rig for them to take to the SHOT Show. So they'll have it to show with their
Okay, I'm
guns.
gonna go and check them out then.
So
Yeah.
Mr. Bianchin, who runs it, will be there. Very nice fella. And
Okay.
you can get him to talk about it.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
since
I
they're
am gonna-
making left and right matched sets,
Yes.
then it's a natural because I
Yeah.
make the two-gun shoulder holsters.
Right. Okay, I'm absolutely gonna go check out Cabot Arms and do a little video and send that out and put it out there. That's really cool. Yeah, we'll come back to this so that we can keep rolling, but I definitely need one of these.
Not a problem.
Where are we going next?
Turnaround time varies depending on how much work there is on hand. Right at the moment, as we're filming, it's about 6 or 7 weeks. There was a time way back when I was a year backlogged, and it made me just as crazy as everybody else. But I was doing gun shows every weekend, and that
Right.
cut into the working time.
Oh, okay, I see.
So now I just stay here and fill orders, and people at the shows may miss me, but I can't.
So you don't do gun shows anymore?
I did one show a year. I did the NRA convention.
The NRA convention.
Yeah.
So that's coming up, I guess,
In
next year
April.
in April.
April
Okay.
in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. Okay, so hopefully I'll see you there too. I
I'll
should
be
get
there
out
with
to
bells
that.
on.
Yeah, I should get out to that. So just so that we have it here, what exactly is the process someone needs to do
It's
to get
very
your
easy.
stuff?
I am about as technologically backward as it's possible to be in the modern world. I've got a telephone and a mailbox.
Okay.
So
You
people,
still have a telephone?
a landline, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
People will call me. They've looked at the online catalog, which is all handled by somebody else. They found what they want. They tell me what gun they want it for, what skin they want it made out of, any special features,
Okay.
additions. I write it all down, put it on my next list to cut, and I chunk my work out into production runs of about 4 weeks at a time.
Okay.
And so we start everything so I can cut it all at once, line it all at once, stitch it all at once. So it moves through the process more or less in a group.
Right. Okay.
With little things around the fringes always confusing the matter.
Right. Okay. Cool. So then once they order it, then your product is going to go through what you see here. Sam's going to go through all the different steps. Now, I don't know if you want to talk about this or not, but I know you've done some guns that are out in movies.
Well, the last one was for that, the farce, The Dictator.
The Dictator,
that Coen
right.
did. We made a golden glossy alligator Sam Brown belt and holster set for his dress uniform. I've got a picture of the rig on the website.
Oh, okay.
And I did a cowboy fast draw rig last year for Quentin Tarantino, with big silver letters of his name across the back.
Oh, okay.
And just making a stingray shoulder rig right now for Dee Snider, who used to front Twisted Sister.
Right.
And his wife's getting it for him for Christmas.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely
so
wonderful.
do we want to even say anything about that since Dee does he
I don't
know?
know when this is going on. So
Yeah. Maybe we don't want to put that in there because we don't want to spoil
don't
this
want to
thing.
spoil it. There.
Although I don't know that he watches, Hopefully he does if he's into guns. Please
He's
watch.
a big Second Amendment supporter.
Okay,
He's
cool.
out there with Uncle Ted. So.
Okay, good. Have you ever made anything for Ted Nugent?
No, I'd love to, but I just haven't had any contact with he or his people.
Oh, okay.
Maybe one day we'll get the call.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, Ted's got a lot of guns.
I would imagine it wouldn't
Yeah.
be a problem
Yeah.
finding something to do.
I think Ted Nugent would need a full body holster from you because I've seen him take out his guns and it literally takes about an hour. He just keeps pulling guns out of places that I don't know how he
Well,
gets
we could
all
just
these
sort
guns.
of, rack them up and down.
Yeah, he's probably about 200 extra pounds walking around with all these. It's really nice. I'm always impressed when someone says to him, yeah, let's see what guns you have on you. He just starts pulling it. It's like in a movie. So yeah, hopefully he'll, if I ever see him, I'm going to tell him you got to get some Sam Andrews holsters. So I think he does the SHOT Show.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And I was just speaking yesterday to Phil Reed. Phil was world fast draw champion many times.
Okay.
And he works now as a gun coach for many of the movies. He just did Django.
Oh,
and
okay.
he's doing another for Russell Crowe right now.
Okay.
And he's been wearing my holsters for a long time. He's got some alligator sets I made him.
Right.
And he tries to see if there's any way we can work these things into the films. And sometimes there's a call for it, sometimes
Yeah.
not. But
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people notice that. I notice those kinds of things when I watch movies. The one that springs to my mind immediately is Face Off. There was two 1911s.
I remember.
Yeah, and I'm always thinking to myself, I would love to get the two 1911s, in a nice rig. I don't know if you've ever done anything like that.
No, a couple people have asked me about it, but one of the things I don't do is reverse draw holsters
Oh, okay.
because for most people you pull the gun and the muzzle is coming right across
Oh,
your
right,
kidney.
yeah.
Liability. If anybody ever had an accident, I'd probably be sued out of my life.
Right.
But people are forever asking me for those because it's an easy arm movement.
Yeah. And it's just so cool looking.
It is. It is
Yeah.
high on the cool factor.
Yeah.
But, it makes personal injury lawyers go,
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, our society is so litigious. Yeah. I think, what does Shakespeare say? Kill all the lawyers?
King Richard V, Act 2, Scene 1, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that I've read it.
So go to andrewsleather.com, look at all the cool stuff on there, and can you put your order through Andrew's
No,
Leather? You
I
have to call.
don't have a computer here, so it's
Okay.
all call by phone. And one of the reasons for that is there are very often little niggly details that they don't know to tell me.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
have to pick their brains to get
Yeah.
all the little specifications.
Right.
So I get it done right the first time.
Yeah, but I love that. I mean, to actually be able to call and speak to you and
It's so much better
Yeah,
just
get
to
your-
deal directly with people,
Yeah.
no middlemen.
right, and get your advice and everything. So really, there's nothing to worry about. Look on the site, see what Sam can do, call him up, have a conversation with him. He's a nice guy. Okay, and order your holster. Right?
Works for me.
Okay, thanks for having me, Sam. I really
Pleasure
appreciate it. Absolutely. What kind of guns do you like? Obviously, you've come across a lot of guns in your
Lots
business.
and lots of guns.
Yeah.
But
What's your gun?
what I keep carrying these days, I've got one of the light double action para ordnance 1911s. I'm just in love with it. Carry it in the waistband, the McDaniel, which I've trimmed in gator because you have to have a little class.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Love that.
absolutely. And I've got, of course, the elephant ivories on it. Again, it's because you feel good about it.
Right. Oh, that's very nice.
Dean Beale down in Lakeland
Okay.
is a custom ivory maker.
Okay.
And it does just flawless, wonderful work. So I get all my ivory stuff from him.
Oh, okay.
He's provided some pieces in the past, such as when I did the auction rig for the Colt collectors a couple of years ago. We did a cowboy rig in elephant, and he made me an oval of elephant ivory, which got scrimshawed with an elephant head to mount on the belt.
Oh, very nice. Now, what model is this again? 1911?
This is the para ordnance,
Para Ordnance, right?
double action.
Double action.
I really like the light double action.
Oh, okay. Very nice. And I saw you had a really nice Desert Eagle.
Oh yes, but I rarely carry that. That's more just
Yeah.
for fun.
I'm sure you have some kind of rig for
to the
that.
side when I carry that thing.
That what would be your gun that you would go to in the zombie apocalypse situation?
Well,
We're living the zombie apocalypse
I prefer
right now.
a minigun on a helicopter so I can ride above it all.
Right, exactly. Very nice.
With an extra fuel bladder to get out to an island somewhere.
That is the best one I've heard so far. Yeah. The minigun.
Well, to quote
Yeah,
Monty
same here.
Python, run away, run
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, exactly. All right, folks, this is Hank Strange hanging out with Sam Andrews of andrewsleather.com. Make sure you go to the site, order your holster by calling up Sam. Okay, tell him Hank Strange sent you. Okay, remember what I always say: like, share, subscribe. Okay, I'm going to the SHOT Show. I'll see you guys there. Peace out.